You know those limits we all feel? The ones that keep us feeling stuck? Well, today, we're going to dive into a powerful framework for absolutely smashing through them. Let's get started on building some truly unstoppable resolve.
So I want to kick things off with a really direct question, and I want you to be honest with yourself. In your career, your health, your biggest goals, what is really holding you back from where you want to be?
Okay, this is super important. We need to draw a line in the sand between two things. On one side, you have reasons, real legitimate obstacles out in the world. But on the other side, you have excuses, and these are totally different. These are the internal stories, the self-imposed barriers we build that basically give us permission to fail before we even try.
And that leads us straight into what I call the universal excuse trap. Why universal? Because, let's be real, every single one of us has been caught in this thing at some point.
And just take a look at where these excuses love to hide. They're not just these little one-off things, they sneak into the most important parts of our lives. A huge 40% in our careers, I just don't have the right degree. Another 25% in our health, I'm just too tired after work. They are literally everywhere, quietly sabotaging our best-laid plans.
So the big question is, how do we break out of this trap? Well, it all starts with a major shift in perspective. It's about adopting what we're calling the no excuses mindset.
And what does that actually mean? It's a conscious choice. You're actively deciding to trade in all the blame and all the justifications for ownership and pure execution. This isn't some personality trait you have to be born with. It is a standard you choose to live by, starting today.
This whole mindset is really built on three core pillars. So let's dig into the first one, the foundation of it all. Pillar 1, radical ownership.
And when I say ownership, I mean radical ownership. We're talking 100% responsibility, not 99. It's this unshakable belief that even though you can't always control what happens to you, you have absolute total control over how you respond. And that response, that changes everything.
Just let that sink in for a second. It's so simple, it's kind of brutal, but it's also incredibly freeing. The moment you truly accept this, the whole game changes. You stop waiting for someone else to come and fix things for you.
Okay, so how do you actually start doing this? It's pretty straightforward. First, you've got to stop the blame game. Think about who or what your go-to scapegoat is and just decide to stop. Second, shift your focus entirely to what you can control right now. And third, completely reframe what failure means. It's not a defeat, it's just data. It's information telling you what to try differently next time.
All right, so once you've taken ownership of your situation, what's next? That brings us to pillar 2, and this one is all about creating momentum, action over intention.
I mean, let's face it, we are all fantastic at intending to do things, right? We intend to start that business. We intend to get in shape, but intentions don't move the needle. This principle is all about one thing. Progress is only, and I mean only, made through real, tangible actions.
And this really shows you the two different paths you can take. You've got the thinker, who's stuck in what they call analysis paralysis, always waiting for the perfect time that, let's be honest, never actually arrives. And then you have the doer. The doer starts small, starts messy, learns as they go, and totally embraces that imperfection is just part of the journey. So you have to ask yourself, which one are you right now?
Never forget this. That one email you send, that one page you write, that one 10-minute walk, that tiny, seemingly insignificant action is infinitely more powerful than a week of just thinking about doing it perfectly.
So how do you actually become a doer, like right now? It's dead simple. First, figure out the absolute smallest, most laughably easy step you can possibly take toward your goal. Then, apply the 24-hour rule. You have to take that step within the next day. That's how you break the inertia and start building real momentum.
Okay, so you're owning it, you're taking action, but how do you keep going when it gets tough? How do you make sure you don't just quit? That's where our final pillar comes in. Embrace the grind.
The word grind gets a really bad rap, doesn't it? We think of it as this horrible, painful chore. But this mindset flips that completely. The grind is where the magic happens. It's where you build your strength. It's all that unglamorous, repetitive, daily work that truly separates the people who succeed from the people who just wish they would. And here is the secret sauce. Stop being so obsessed with the finish line. Learn to actually find joy and satisfaction in the daily work, in the consistency, in the process itself. When you can do that, the results you want, they just start to show up as a natural side effect.
So how do you start doing this? First, you've got to reframe difficulty. Stop seeing challenges as roadblocks and start seeing them as opportunities to get stronger, like reps at the gym for your character. Second, celebrate your effort. Did you show up today even when you didn't feel like it? That's a win. Acknowledge it. And finally, just be patient with yourself. Real mastery is a marathon, not a sprint.
So let's bring it all home. When you take these three things, radical ownership, action over intention, and embracing the grind, what happens when you combine them? What do you actually get? You unlock unstoppable resolve.
What you get is your new personal manifesto. 3 simple but incredibly powerful lines to live by. I own my outcomes. I act despite my fears. I find strength in the struggle. That's the code.
And at the end of the day, it really all boils down to one simple truth. The biggest thing standing in your way isn't your past, it's not your boss, it's not your circumstances. It's the story you keep telling yourself about why you can't. But here's the amazing part. You are the author of that story. You're the one holding the pen, and you can start writing a new one right now. The manifesto is written. The only question left is, what will your next chapter be?